Welcome back to Blank Explained to You. Drew, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful now that we are sitting down together. All right, are there any housekeeping things we need to talk about? What did you look at the followers that we have?
We're at 35.
We're at 35. Is that combined?
Yeah.
We're at 35, so we're still somewhat away
So
from 50.
Hey, we have listeners. That's good.
We do. What's that? How many number? 50 would be?
Total listens between Spotify and YouTube is like 370.
Yo.
Roughly. I think it's 180 on Spotify and then like 170 something on YouTube. So, which I'm surprised they're even. Like for me, like
Spotify all the way.
Podcasts are like a Spotify thing, like not a YouTube thing.
Although I will say it's weird. I've been when I do having to watch a podcast, I like it. It's like a lot of fun to watch it, but I just don't. I'm not gonna watch it in my car when I'm driving to work.
I've never tried it. Like I forget we're on camera a lot, and there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
That like I'd want to watch.
We gotta have more flashy editing.
Us being awkward. We're like.
Yeah. All right. So today we're gonna be talking about something very fun. It's very personal to me. We're talking about identity theft.
How to get good at it.
How to get good at stealing identities. I got my identity stolen last summer. So I know it was dumb, but I was gonna say I have my Social Security card in my wallet. But if you see me on the streets, I do not have it in my wallet anymore. So don't steal from me. I had it in my wallet because I just started a new job. They need your Social Security card to take photocopies or whatever. Blah blah blah. So I had it in my wallet, and then
I did have mine a couple days ago, but it's back in.
How about you show the camera? Anyway, so I had mine in my wallet along with my license and everything else that's important to my life. Dropped it outside a store on accident. Didn't notice it till later. And then I searched everywhere, couldn't find it, and I realized someone took it. And then I noticed later that somebody was trying to open a bunch of accounts in my name, blah, 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 blah. So, that happened to me. And since then, I have kind of learned what to do, unfortunately, when you get your identity stolen. Lucky enough for me, the guy took mine. If he's listening, dude, you're an idiot.
Oh,
he
harsh words.
He was just dumb. He didn't do anything right and just... So, we'll teach you how to do it right if you want to know.
That is my goal of this podcast, is to teach you how to be good.
I think it was actually Drew that took it from me, to be honest
with
you. Bruh. So, he was just dumb. He didn't know how to write my name on any forms. He would write, my name is Wesley Mark Allen. He would write Mark Allen Wesley or something like that, because your license has it kind of backwards.
Yeah.
So, of course, the guy didn't look at his license to say... we would get stuff in the mail that said, for Mark Allen. Or, something like that. It was or Allen Mark.
That's pretty bad.
Because my last name was Mark, my middle name was Allen, my first name... No, my first name was Allen, my last name was Mark, my middle name was Wesley. So he was just dumb. And he tried a bunch, and it was just stupid. So...
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So
we'll do a little scenario here, Drew. I'm a bad guy. Mm-hmm. And you're...
Maybe you're just desperate, Wes. Let's not put labels on things.
All right. No labels. I'm a guy.
Continue.
I'm a bad guy. All right. That's 2 episodes in a row I've sang.
And that's 2 episodes in a row. It wasn't good.
Dude, I'm Oscar-worthy singing over here. Is that a thing?
No.
Probably not. Emmy-worthy? It'd be Tony-worthy, wouldn't it? No, wait.
Well, if it's a musical, it's a Tony. If it's... Yeah.
Grammys are music, right?
Yeah. I don't know what Emmys are. Are they music
TV
as well?
shows. Dude, come on, Drew. You're really...
Okay.
Emmy. What is an Emmy? What is an Emmy? Emmy for artistic technical music merit in the American and international television industry.
Music in the television industry?
No music. Emmys are just television. Okay. Merit in the technical merit for the American and international television industry. Grammys are music. Emmys are TV. Or Oscars are movies. Tonys are musicals.
What are Golden Globes?
I don't know.
I think they're movies as well.
I think it's just another movie award.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I feel like the movie industry is the biggest, right?
Yeah.
Especially for caring about awards like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's just movies. So, because some people, if you're really cool, you win an Epcot, which is Emmy, it's just all of them. Not an Epcot, what is it called? What is an Epcot?
Epcot's the thing in Disney where you travel the world and drink.
You're right.
Yeah, you win an Epcot. Your singing deserves an Epcot.
You drank so much and you're gonna go. Or you're so good you're gonna go. What is no, what is it called? It's just like all the letters combined. Is that you or me?
I don't know.
That was you. Why
That should be me. 'Cause I hear like spiking.
Oh, I'm just
I think it sounds fine now.
Yeah.
If it's not, then
yeah, there was a spiking. All right, so so if you win like a Tony, Emmy, even all of them, you get like.
Well, Tony, Emmy, Grammy.
But there's what's the order of it?
And then I know, but if we figured out we could like scramble the puzzle,
But it doesn't make
like
sense. The way it doesn't like it's not making make sense.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Oh wait, I got this.
It could be like a Tego, Tony, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar.
I think it's E.
EGOT is
EGOT, yes,
EGOT,
that is what it is. That is what
See,
it is.
the opposite of Tego.
Yep. So if you win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar,
EGOT.
like a Tony, you get
I'm
an EGOT.
thinking EBCO is pretty.
And I think one of them
Okay.
there's like, I think it's not Ego, but there's like another one that's without one of them.
Without a Tony.
Probably Tony because the
Yeah.
most like.
That's kind of like specific.
And it's kind of outside. If you're not in the musical theater, you're not.
Right. If
or
you're
not
like
theater.
actually cool, you're not getting.
Right. If
Tonys.
you're not weird, yeah.
Yeah.
So like Lin-Manuel Miranda is an EGOT winner because he has an Emmy, a
Right.
Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony, I think. Anyways, so identity theft. So I'm a bad guy. Okay, I'm a criminal. I'm a little sneaky criminal boy.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're a normal citizen.
Mhm.
I steal your stuff.
Mhm.
And what do? What's the first thing you do?
Well, like probably close my cards as soon as I.
Yes.
freeze
If your
them.
wallet's stolen, yeah, that's good. If your wallet's
Yeah.
stolen,
Which
Shut
a
down
lot
your
of banks now will let you do that online.
oh,
Like you don't even have to call. That's super
nice.
nice. And you can also unfreeze them without getting a new card online, which is
My
nice.
bank's
I did that at Cedar Point.
my banks don't do that, unfortunately.
You have a lame bank. I go to the biggest bank in the world,
I have
technically.
2 banks.
It's like the highest.
Well, even Discover, I have a Discover
money-wise.
credit card. Didn't even let me do that. Like how to get a new card for my
So
Discover
really, if you
card.
go to Chase, that's who will do it for you.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, and that's a nice feature.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, first thing you do, if your wallet gets stolen, just in general, freeze your card, shut them down, whatever you got.
If your social gets stolen, you don't do anything about it.
You just let it go.
Yep.
And that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yep. And if you want to steal a social,
Here's
do that.
yours. It is a.
Mine has a lot of zeros in it and a lot of other numbers.
Do all of them have a lot of zeros or something?
I don't know. Mine
does too. So I guess we'll say 2 out of.
My grandma told a funny joke. She said when she was talking to her mom, she mentioned a social, and she's like, "What's yours? Number 1?" Because she's old.
That's really funny. Do you think there is a number 1 social?
No, I think it'd have 8 zeros and then a.
It used to be like chronological.
Yeah.
So like, if you got 1 and somebody's in line behind you, you would know theirs.
Yeah, I think they still are.
No, not anymore.
Okay, they were for a long time.
Yeah.
Because like I know twins
My-
who had
my-
like one number different.
all my uncles and stuff have, or aunts.
So did you know they actually promised that it wouldn't be used to identify you with a social security card? It'd only be used to give you social security money when you started collecting on it when you're 60. It was not meant to be a form of identification. It was supposed to be a form to collect the money that was owed to you. And here we are. That's like one
The
of your
number
primary
key
sources
best,
of
yeah.
identification.
Look, that happened to mine. I think, doesn't it say on the card, not used for identification or something like that?
It might say something like not valid identification. I don't know.
Oh, I think you're right.
But-
Well, because my grandpa was telling me he went to like T-Mobile and I go, "Oh, what's your social?" And he said, "No,"
Yeah.
because obviously when he got it,
Right. And it
Yeah.
shouldn't. T-Mobile shouldn't need my social.
yeah, it's done how many
Yeah.
people want your social these days.
But I mean, technically, like when it comes to being identified as an individual, like if something needs it, they are allowed to request it. It's like law enforcement jobs. Like it's not colleges.
It is a pretty good form. Like if everybody has one, it's a good way to kind of say.
It's a good way to like you automatically get one without like state IDs
Yeah.
or like driver's license because I don't need one of those, but you have to have
Right.
a social. So, yeah, it's convenient for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm a criminal boy.
Yes.
You get your stolen. First thing to do. So you can check your. The thing you want to do is like check your credit report. If so, like for me, I lost it, but I wasn't 100% certain if someone like took it, or if
Yeah.
it was just like lost. I needed to, because I lose stuff all the time. I just need to look
Yeah.
harder and I'll find it. So I was kind of like, I don't know. But if you know it's stolen, or even if you're like not sure, the number one first thing you should do is go to the 3 biggest credit bureaus, which is Experian, TransUnion, and someone else with an E, Equifax. So those 3 are the biggest ones. Make an account; it's free, and have your Social Security memorized. Because if you don't, then you're kind of done for at that point already. But so yeah, you go to those 3 websites. You really use your credit account and put a freeze on your credit. Pretty much that means that nobody can. If somebody put something like they want a loan out, it would just say no, you can't get one because there's a freeze on your account. And put a security alert. So there's 2 different kinds of security alerts. There are 3 different kinds. There's like an active duty one, which I don't really understand that one. And there's one that you just put on for free for a year. And then you can request an extended one, which goes on for 7 years. Pretty much that means if somebody gets an application for your credit, they'll call the phone number you provide and say, hey, is this real? And so you say, yeah, that was me trying to get by a car. Or like, no, that wasn't me, don't give them anything.
Right.
So what we want to do first is those 3, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Great account, free, freeze your credit. It's called like freeze. I think there's like another name for it, but
Freeze your credit. It's called freeze.
there's like, cause they have like weird quirky names for it, but it's pretty simple. And you'll do that and put the alert on. And then there's a couple different ways to get your like credit report for free without an issue. It used to be like a huge ordeal to try and get it and blah 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 blah. But some ruling, I think it's like 2008 or something. I could be wrong. Don't fact check me. They made it so that legally you can access it like 3 times a year. There's some like number, a certain amount of times in the year, and that website is called like credit. It's literally called like creditreport.com or something. It's really sketchy. Let me just look it up because that's why I used it first. Free annual credit report. It is. Oh my gosh, I feel dumb. Just report. You want scores? Let's pen in this. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's called annualcreditreport.com. And it is a government website. If you go on, it looks really sketchy too. As you can see, Drew. But it looks mad sketchy. But it is free, and it's brought to you by TransUnion. So the good thing about this one is it combines, or you can request a specific one from TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian. I think you can request all 3 if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just went to TransUnion and tried to request one, it would just give me TransUnion's.
Right.
And if they tried to get a loan out through Equifax, it wouldn't show that.
Yeah.
So this thing is nice because it kind of shows you everything. So that's what I did first. I didn't freeze my stuff because I didn't know about that. So I pulled up this and I saw the guy had put like 6 soft inquiries into my credit. So like a couple different companies had tried to put inquiries into my credit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, obviously my credit card or my social stolen.
Yeah.
I need to shut this down. I was actually at Encore when I found out. As I'm in rehearsal, I was like, I gotta go. So I left. I called the police. I was like, hey, this happened. Because the thing you want is a police report if possible, so you could prove like if you have like damages to your account, like if someone got a loan, it's like $12,000 or something. You could like it just helps you prove it happened.
Right.
So it's good because I called the police and said, hey, my wallet was stolen, social security card, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't have any hopes of them ever finding my wallet because it's going to be on the lowest on the priority list. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. But I needed the, report number. So I got that. And then I went home.
Let me guess. 2022 00063111.
Is that my social?
How high? What was your number at? Because what year was it? Do you know?
I'm not gonna tell you my social card. It's the same one.
Not your social. Your report number.
Let me pull it up.
What was the? Yeah. Because it's the year. No, 2022 is when it happened.
I was like, bro, I'm not gonna.
What's the report number?
Let me look it up.
Because those are chronological. So that's how many calls were in.
Reference. Look at police. No.
Yeah, give me your social while we're here. I'm gonna
seriously, bro. I was like,
get
all
bored
right,
and do it again. That's funny.
I said anything after that.
It's dumb that you get the same social. Like I know you have to. It makes sense, but like.
Police report number. It's in here. Let me just load it. Okay, what's your guess? It was in June of 2022.
I'm gonna say like. I don't know if I'm gonna say like 3212.
So 2022 000 11 367.
Wow. I was thinking I'd undershoot it with 20. Okay.
So that's how many calls I got?
Yeah, 1,100. What did you say? 360?
No, 11,000.
Oh, 11,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was lowballing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, serving papers like summons, hey, go to court, you're being sued. That's a CFS.
What's that?
A call for service. Okay. So that's what's counting. That's
right.
your CFS number. Technically, is a call for service.
Yeah.
And it gives the year and the what number in chronological order.
Yeah.
And on like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, like that goes from like 1 to 100 on the same day solely because it's New Year's Day.
Nice. Anyways. Yeah, so that's my reference number if anybody wants to call and...
Yeah, that's public record. You can go find Wes's Social Security. They wrote it down in the notes, right?
Yeah,
good,
sure.
good.
So I then went and made those accounts and froze my credit, which pretty much stopped him in his tracks from doing anything. Mm-hmm. You know, so like he couldn't after he maybe got I think 12 applications off to different places, and not a single one went through. So I'm really lucky. But pretty much, so I guess I'll keep talking about my personal experience, but I froze it, and then the next like day or two, I called like every single company that he put in. Hey, just to let you know this happened. Like, don't give this social security number an account right now. So like Chase was one, T-Mobile was one. Then a bunch of like random sketchy places in like California. So just like all over the place. But I called every single one and said, hey, don't do this. I think that helped. So, and I was able to, like, you can pull your credit reports pretty consistently from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. They're just kind of weird. It's hard to explain. You just have to do it. But they're kind of weird, and some will show more than other one. I have found the best one to be TransUnion, my personal favorite. It shows a lot of the other, like, it shows Equifax's and Experian's for the most part. So I like TransUnion the best. But that's like I printed that credit report out and just called all those companies. And then I also ended up finding out some information about the guy. I found a phone number that he had used to like make an account somewhere. Yeah. So I ended up getting his phone number and called the police with that, and they didn't do anything with it, but...
Shocker.
You know. I also got his email somehow. I don't really know how I did that, but I got his email. And then a possible name and a possible address that I provided to the police with no results. But, so yeah, after all that happened, whatever, the issue is, if there's no, like, actual damage done, it's really hard to get a new number. Yeah. Almost impossible. So if there's no actual anything happening, I can't get a new number. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is, you know, it's kind of just like, suck it up, you're fine. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. So the rest of my life, I pretty much just have to always have my credit frozen, except for the day I'm buying a car, the day I'm buying a house, you know.
Yeah, you don't think you'd give up on it?
Yeah, no, I probably won't. Because it's actually, I would suggest, actually, to just freeze your credit. Yeah. And it's really easy to, like, you can put a thaw on it, which means, like, so I can say, for the next 3 days, take the freeze off, so I'm going to be buying a car, right?
Can you build your credit if it's frozen?
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't, it's because it's just for the accounts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really, because if you have, like, a credit card, you already have the credit card. You know what I mean?
I see.
I mean, my score has gone up since they've been frozen, so I assume so. And like, yeah. So when I bought my car in January, I bought a car. I like, just thawed it for a few days
Yeah.
while I, bought that. And so they had a couple days to look it up and find the information. And then I got the car. So I would suggest to freeze it if just to be safe. It doesn't hurt. It literally does not hurt. And it's really easy to unthaw it. So that's kind of where it honestly stops. Is just has been frozen and I'll unfreeze it when I need it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it. Like I can't track that guy down or
Right.
anything. So it is what it is. Until Drew joins the sheriff's office, they'll do it for me.
Right.
Would that case just sit open indefinitely, like a stool wall, or are they just like, oh, let's just close it?
There's gonna be a statute where it could be reopened,
Yeah.
but like they're kind of just gonna say, well, he probably figured it out.
Right. I mean that's.
It's not technically solved, so it can be like refocused, but it's not like necessarily active.
Yeah.
The statute on, let's see, what would that be? The statute on that is gonna be probably 6 years. So for how long technically you could get in trouble for it if they didn't like for them to go back to it and say, okay, we have this person who's suspected. It's probably 6 years that they could go back on that. So it might be open until then, but
Yeah.
yeah. How much money do you think was lost in identity fraud last year?
Isn't it
in 2020?
In the billions, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 2 billion. What is it?
56 billion. Yeah. And 49 million consumers. That is insane. That's 1 in 7 people in America.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
but
actually,
I don't know if that 49 million is the world or if that's...
Yeah, in America.
It's probably the world. Because
Yeah.
I don't think 1 in 7 people in
No,
one
there's
year.
no way.
But yeah, that's...
That'd be what 2 people in my family would... Yeah. Statistically.
I don't think so.
Right?
Oh, I guess like...
If there's 9 in my family, then... No. Wait. It'd be 14. Statistically, there'd be...
Like with everybody married and stuff.
Technically, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that's crazy. 56 billion. But the U.S. loses...
What do they lose?
It is, let's see. I'm going to Google this to make sure I get it right.
Okay. So another thing, if you were to have your like actual like a loan taken out or something, what you want to do is go to identitytheft.gov, which again, these all look so sketchy, but they are the legit like government websites. So identitytheft.gov, I actually did create like a case with them, and it's like I think it's through the FBI, but it like creates a case number and everything. And again, that just helps you for the rebuilding process later, to kind of say, hey, well, like I reported it, I did all this stuff. So you want a police number, or like a police reference number. You want a case number on the identitytheft.gov. You want to freeze everything. And those case numbers will just help you later on when you go to build everything. And if you were to discover, like, if the guy had opened, let's say, a Chase account and actually gotten away with it, not just tried to, it's really actually kind of annoying to try and get that, like, taken off your account. You have to, like, write a letter to the company. So I write a letter to, like, TransUnion if it's on my TransUnion score and say, hey, here's what's happened. Here's the case on and again, you would provide the police number, the identitytheft.gov number, and all these different things that you've got, and say, this isn't me, it's not real, and you have to prove it to them it's not you, pretty much, and then they would take a look. I'm not entirely certain what you would do, like, if you got a loan out for $12,000, and the guy spent it.
Yeah.
Like, how do you juggle that? I'm not sure. But, that would be where you would get, like, insurance for it if you were worried about it. So I had, like, insurance for a couple of months through, like, a company. I forget what it was. But they were just, like, they would monitor my score, and then also, if he did get a loan out, I had up to, like, $250,000 of insurance that they would pay off anything, And that was, like, it was, like, $30 a month for that. So I just did that for a little bit while it was still uncertain. But at this point, doesn't matter to me. Did you find your number?
Yes. So, it's the OJP. I don't know.
Ohio Orange Juice.
Ohio Orange Juice.
OJP. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
remember what that stands for.
Okay. I'll look at Ohio Department. No, OJP.
It's not Ohio. It's
Oh.
the nation.
Okay.
Office of something.
Office
Anyway,
of Justice Programs.
probably not.
What OJP?
Is it really?
I mean,
Oh,
this
look
guy.
right here. Look right here. Oh,
Dude. Oh my god.
okay.
Probably
Anyway, it says an estimated $450 billion annually is lost to crime in general. This is including but this is for victim cost and consequences.
So wait,
So it's like violent crimes, how much insurance has to pay for pain and suffering, for hospital bills,
what was it?
for $450 billion annually is paid.
And so 50 billion worldwide is lost to identity theft.
In a year. I don't know if that's worldwide or if that was in America.
Okay.
But and that was 2020, which had a decent peak of identity theft and online fraud. Only 24 billion is property crime. 426 billion is violent crime. But they consider drunk driving a violent crime.
So wait. So 50 in 2020, 21. So $56 billion were lost to identity theft.
Yeah.
So yours was in 2021 too? Or was it 2022?
This is 2021.
Okay. Right. That was mine. That's it. Yeah. 2021. 100 billion divided by 56. Oh, does this work the way I want it to?
I don't know. Can Wes do math?
So is
Probably
it
not.
7% of crime in the year 2021 was
If you
the money
consider
lost
cost, yes.
was in identity theft?
Yes, but other estimates, and none of them were great sources.
Yeah.
I've seen research on it done by Chicago that's pretty decent to say if we add white collar crimes, we're looking at 1.4 trillion, not 450 billion. So 450 billion is what does it cost us to cover what was lost, not necessarily
What was lost?
what's stolen.
Really?
What are the victims paying? What is, if you're like Walmart and you're losing money in theft, you're not really charging victims, and they're upcharging technically for that theft, but they don't really pay to recover. So those estimates can be in the trillions pretty quickly. Most of them outside of the OJP, whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of money goes in crime.
Yeah, I mean that's just the world we live
And the issue is I remember learning this in college. Only about 18% of the cost of crime is actually in a benefit for a person. So if I steal $1 million, it'll cost a lot more than that to figure things out. It's you have to pay for damages to however you stole it. Maybe you robbed a bank. Okay, you got to pay victims. You pay for court. You pay to rebuild whatever was destroyed. So 18% of it is for profit. The rest is just damaged property and medical bills and psychological harm. So it's costing 4-5 times what you're gaining just to recover.
So don't do crime is what you're saying.
Sure. Or do better at it. Break glass buildings, dummy.
Don't be dumb.
Don't drink and drive.
Or get away with it.
Get away with it. Make it easy. But that 1 point something trillion, I believe, also covers some costs of law enforcement efforts to pursue. The salaries of the cops to chase the people who robbed the bank is included in that cost of 18%. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, interesting stats. I think that's weird because when it happens, it feels like you're done for. I got nothing left. The joke was, Kaylee was I think someone said, how do you even know who you've married anymore? He doesn't have an identity. But it's really not. It's in my case, I was really lucky.
Yeah.
And I think that if you know how to manage it and you can jump, the best thing is the faster you can find out about it, the better. So if you lost your number online, that's a lot harder. But if you you know that your wallet was stolen, or I'm missing my social security number, like I did, then that's kind of lucky because I was able to right away that night jump on it and start calling companies, start figuring stuff out. And so I got really lucky with that. So in my case, it's really not that big of a deal, knock on wood, but it just is what it is. Something I'll just deal with the rest of my life and not really care, Here's the only thing that we're not sure about yet. It's possible he could have filed a tax return in my name. And I had actually a bunch of issues with my taxes from like Kaylee and all that stuff. Us like filing together and all that jazz. So I had to get an extension, and we still haven't filed yet because we tried and it got pushed back because of an issue with that. Of like, yeah, it's just messing with like college education credits and her parents and us like doing different things. So I am still not sure. It's very possible he could have done that, and if he did that, that's going to be like a really, really big pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But he's an idiot, so I really do not think
Probably
he
didn't
did.
do his own taxes.
He really probably did.
Hey, maybe it's a woman or sexist.
I mean, the name I found is not a woman. All right, so yeah, it's kind of weird after all that stuff that happens, you know. But yeah, so I would say the best thing you can do is speed. The sooner you know about it, the sooner you can jump on it.
Speed? You mean like driving fast?
No, I mean the
What?
drug. Isn't there a drug?
Yeah.
Okay. No, like the faster you know about it, the faster you can take steps. Yeah, I would definitely suggest like calling different if you notice, because there's something called like a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry. A soft inquiry is like it doesn't really affect your score. You know how your score can go down if you have like too many things. Trying to do stuff.
Right. No, for sure.
So soft inquiry just is like, I'm trying to think of an example of what would do it. I don't know, but a soft inquiry is just like a not.
I believe an actual check itself, like a credit check,
Yeah.
would be a soft inquiry, but like an actual application would be a hard one.
Oh.
You know,
So
so
you're
like
just
a job and an apartment, those can all check your credit, which will drop you like 5 points sometimes. But like an actual application can drop you like 15 to 20 points.
Right.
So this one time, Discover said, "Hey, you're pre-approved for a card."
Yeah.
When I was in college, because I had a pretty decent score.
Yeah.
And pre-approved does not mean they'll give you one.
Right.
It means that your credit score falls in a large range
Yeah.
that is acceptable if you have other conditions. Me being 18 and not knowing this said, okay, well, I want a Discover card because they
Yeah.
have cool looking ones.
Yeah, they got the hockey ones.
So I applied for it, and I'm in college and don't have an income, or at least not a high enough income, and they said no, drop my credit score like 36 points.
Did they really say no?
Yeah, after telling me I was pre-approved.
That's
Which pre-approved does not mean you're approved
Right.
yet. All that means is you have over a 700, and that's their minimum,
Was that
or
like
whatever
was that
that
the
means.
student card?
No.
Okay.
I
okay.
applied for a normal card
Okay,
because I wanted the
I was
Penguins one.
I say the student card is impossible not to get. I feel like.
Well, if you're pre-approved, probably not. But
Well, I think
I
it's
feel like the
just, and,
student card, if you got like a 540 as a student,
I think
buck.
I think that's their whole market is that student. You know, that, whatever.
APR probably like 35%.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty. I think it's like 29 or something like that for me.
Yeah, that's
but
what mine
I
is.
don't owe interest on it because pay it off in time. Sorry. I'm actually thinking about getting the Apple credit card.
Yeah.
Because they have a new like high yield saving account, like 5%, with like no minimum.
You know what you could do
Right.
instead? Work with me and get like 12% interest on your investments a year.
What?
Work with me.
Are you talking about like a retirement?
Yeah.
account? Well, I'll also do a retirement, but
No.
I know you don't have a savings account, Drew, but people who actually have their life together have a savings account as well as their checking account and their retirement account.
Do you have eye insurance?
I actually don't have any insurance right now.
Who has insurance?
That's actually crazy. They're giving it to you like right now,
Day
not
one.
90 days.
Haven't
from
gotten
now.
paid yet.
That's cool.
Day one.
That's awesome.
So I could like go to the eye doctor if it
Yeah.
didn't take 3 months to get in. I could get a massage for like $40.
America and their healthcare.
We're so
What time is? Where are we at?
like 40.
Okay. What else? I feel there's more to hit on with identity theft, but
Let's talk about other types of identity theft.
okay.
I mean, like, what about online? Do you know anything about that?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, if credit cards and like Amazon accounts, things like that get stolen,
Yeah.
is it
Pretty
similar?
much just don't let that happen.
Oh, good.
So like,
Thanks.
okay, think about like your Amazon account getting hacked. There's a couple like two ways for it to happen. Somebody hacks Amazon and like gets a bunch of information, or somebody
Yeah.
hacks your actual account. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they just found your password, it's a one-off.
Yeah.
Odds are it'd be just a one-off on you. You know, you did a dumb
Yeah.
you did password with a 5 at the end. You know,
Oh.
that's your fault. Or
that really
password,
a thing?
but the O or the O is like 0.
Wait, what's the 5 at the end thing?
I just made it up. I just like a
okay.
number. Like that's a simple like password with 5. Like I need a number and you know.
I don't have a 5.
His is password 6. Like the big one was like password, but the 0 is an O.
I feel like I would never do that. Like my password's not good. I made my password when I was 13.
Yeah.
You know, and like I have definitely some passwords relating to like old pets I had.
Yeah.
And things that you could guess. Well, I mix it up well enough. A
And
couple
that's
capitals in the middle, a couple, you know.
Like people. So the big ones are the like. There's a couple of like password cracker tools you can get.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why places will do it if you get like 5 wrong, they won't. They'll lock you out or whatever.
Right.
But there's obviously ways around that, I think. But like, so it would just sit there and go through every possible combination of everything until it cracked it, pretty much. So, and there's different versions of that. There's a version where it tries like the most commonly used passwords.
Yeah.
There's one that just tries every single letter of the alphabet time after time after time after time until it gets it right, you know. But I would say the easiest thing is just like, the biggest thing you see is people just going to the wrong website, you know?
Yeah.
So if I went to Amazon.com and I didn't know and it looks the same, it'd be so easy to put like log in and they just delete all your stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And they'll log into your account, they'll buy stuff into them, whatever. The biggest issue with online identity theft and stuff is phishing emails, which people talk about a lot. But if people like don't click links in emails and stuff you don't know about and all that jazz.
Now, does it hurt to open an email without the link?
See,
it's always like, don't open this email.
They always say don't open it, but
I definitely.
I don't.
To me, I click it and then click delete. I don't, because when I swipe, it archives it.
Yeah.
So I definitely click and then click delete, and I'm like, well.
As far as I'm aware, don't take this as like, if you do this and get in trouble, it's not my fault. So there's that. I don't think it matters if you open the email, because it matters if there's like a downloadable attachment or there's like a link or something like that you would click. But they're like, we train people at our company, don't open it, don't reply to it, don't do it, just like delete it, you know? And that's just like safe practices. But I would say that it's tough because if you don't know what you're looking, like, it's so easy to get, like, you get an email from Facebook, let's say, and you're like, well, this email isn't tied to Facebook, but why would that happen? And then you click it and you're done for. You know, so be smart about it. Yeah. If you get an email from Facebook to an account that you don't have Facebook on, it's not from Facebook. You know,
right?
And phishing is the biggest one that people get stuff stolen from, and you know, computers hacked and things like that. It's email. It's all email. They're starting to have it on phones now too. You might get a text message like your delivery's out for, you know,
right. Click this link.
And then you click it, and then, you know, online it's usually like a one-off. Because they hack recently a password like storing company got hacked. That is called LastPass.
Are you serious? Yeah. I was like, please don't tell me it's LastPass.
Yeah.
I use it. Well,
do you use LastPass?
All the time.
It was a while ago, and so you're fine now.
Wow.
That's what we use at work too. But it was just like a data breach, and I think they, you know, whatever. We're fine,
I mean, what are you gonna steal from me? $20?
That's what I say.
As long as it's not my social's not on there.
I think the biggest thing for passwords is just like make them a little bit complex,
But don't use like the Apple suggested one that you'll never know.
Unless you have a good password manager, and that's what people say, get a password manager. You know, like Dashlane or LastPass, because then you can just save it online and you don't have to worry about knowing it. But then there's one more thing that you get hacked if it's on like LastPass or something, you know. That's my dad. A Dashlane used to be like a desktop app, and all your passwords were stored locally. But then they recently went to like a fully cloud version, so he stopped using them because he's like, well, you know, that's one more, you know, password to. That's one more thing I could steal all my stuff. It's out in the cloud, but if it's on my desktop, it eliminates.
Right.
It's just all locally stored and stuff.
Unless I steal it.
Right. So that's what people say, like, don't name it after your first pet. Well, some hacker's not going to know that, right? That's just to protect, like, personal identity. Like, if I were to steal from you.
Right.
Right.
I think I could probably steal your identity.
You probably could. You probably know my passwords for. Well, you do.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Like, if like
I think the password for our Spotify podcast account is your password for most things.
Combination, like different version of that.
Yeah, you probably
I have my complex version of that, my normal version, my usual,
sure.
you know.
Yeah. No, I do. I mean, you know mine.
Yeah.
So. But that's not for my bank, and it's not for my
That's what
college.
I need to change.
It's not for
my bank was different, but my bank actually just switched banks. And the new bank, when I made my password, I made it like a complex version of that. So I should really do. My like Apple ID password's crazy. Is like a Safari one like suggested, and it's good. I remember it, but it's like just a bunch of random letters. And
I don't know what mine is. It's probably easier than it should be, but
yeah. Oh, well. And I mean, because again, I think that like, okay, if I did, let's say if I had a pet named Kevin, right?
Yeah.
I did like Kevin or KEV dot IN. How do you spell Kevin? Is that right? Yeah. It's nervous. At 51.29 hashtag, right? That's not a bad password, right? Unless you're trying to hack me. But like some guy.
Yeah. But even then, I just put Kevin.
Right. So like, and that's the thing. That would protect you. Like, if you did your pet name, that'd probably be fine to protect you from like outside. But as long as it's complex, right? Because just Peter, that's not gonna do anything. You know what I mean? But like. PET had like all that stuff like add to it, and that's gonna be your best bet for online security.
But if you just put pet name, that'd be kind of funny.
Pet name.
Pet name, because they say don't do pet name.
Yeah. Here's what you should never do. Like write down your password beside your computer.
Yeah, my mom has like a password book.
Yeah, with password books you shouldn't use anymore.
Yeah.
People used to be a big thing. It's bad.
My mom needs it, so we'll let her have it.
Well, password. That's why you do password manager on your computer. So it's like, because you can't password protect your password book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she'd forget that one.
But make it like you can make as long as it's anything's better than nothing. You know what I mean? So do like Kevin. You know what I mean for your password or whatever.
I think the same password like paper has been around for probably 16 years though.
Yeah.
You can't read any of it, and half of them aren't used.
No, yeah, so I think I've seen that once. And I was like,
yeah, and it's like,
so
what?
Which one's the right password?
She's like, if you turn it like at an 84-degree angle, and then read it backwards.
It's always like, well, which one am I? Yeah, it's a mess. Well, that's what you see a lot with like, especially in like companies.
Yeah.
There's a thing called like PCI compliance.
Yeah.
Which pretty much means that if you aren't compliant with that, major credit cards won't do business with your store. So they won't let you use like MasterCard or Discover, American Express, like any of those big ones. Won't happen if you aren't PCI compliant. And a big one is that you can't have passwords written down anywhere. And if you were to be audited and you did have that, you would pretty much lose the ability to take credit cards. So that's something we deal with a lot of work. That like, so if we see a password still written down, you go like, hey,
you punch them.
You like take it. You literally take it off and like burn it pretty much. It's like we could get shut down.
After you memorize it, right?
Right, and write it in yourself.
It's just like I want to care more, but I just like don't put the effort into it.
I don't, and that's the thing. My passwords, dude. I know it's gonna bite me in the butt one of these days, but I just don't have the energy to care.
I've probably put my same password out to at least 80 different like things,
Because that's the issue with using the same password. Let's say I use my normal password with like some like random website that's maybe not like super secure, right?
Right.
Like just like the local library. Okay, I made my password the same password as everywhere. So now that got hacked. Holy crap! Alright, that's in the episode there. So let's say the library gets hacked. They get my password. Well, since I use that password everywhere, now everything can get hacked. Like all 80 websites from my bank to the library are all hacked. Right. So it's kind of that's why like password managers are a really good idea because you can do like.
Security. I mean, I just do like everything unimportant, and then I have 3 important ones. My bank it's only my bank that has that.
Yeah. Something that you like log in consistently. It's pretty easy to remember a complex password. But if, like, let's say you actually physically log into your bank every 4 months, sometimes it's impossible. Like, especially with Face ID now, it's like, I'm not entering this password every day. It's like almost impossible.
My university's password, I had to change every 6 months, and it took me forever to figure out what it was. Because I just do, like, it remembers my login whenever I click on. So I only type in my password every 6 months. I set it, and then I don't type it in again.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Anyways, are we good? Do we feel like we covered identity theft?
And if someone tries to do things in person, pretend to be you, like your twin, tell them not to.
Amen. Yeah, I mean, act fast. Freeze your credit. I would suggest freeze your credit anyways. Just have it frozen. There's no harm in it. You can thaw it when you need it. Freeze your credit. Call companies if you start seeing like suspicious stuff on your credit report. I would also suggest you can do the like annualcreditreport.com can do like an annual, send you every yearly send you your credit report for free just to your email. I would suggest just setting that up just so you can be active and you know what's going on. Also Discover, if you have a Discover card, they offer free like Social Security monitoring, so they'll monitor it and like search the black web if your card's anywhere or anything.
How do they get there?
Wait a minute, I'm calling Discover. But anyways,
they'll search for your kidneys on there too.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
They'll buy them for you and give it back to you. All right, I think that about does it for this episode.
I think, we have some guests coming on soon.
Yes.
Haven't super scheduled that, but it'll be around.
And let us know if you guys have any ideas for like just topics you want us to talk about. You know, we're going to talk. We'll research anything you want and talk about stuff. So.
Have not done any research yet, so challenge us.
We've been lucky enough to talk about something
I brought a book, and then I was like, I haven't read this, guys.
I actually haven't read this book ever, so likely we've talked about something we know about.
If we got an actual request, like this one was, we'd actually research it.
I think we just right now have been like, let's just do stuff we know about so we can, it's a little easier to talk about identity theft when I've been thefted before.
Also, please subscribe, everyone who's listening, because we do want to draw portraits.
I would love to draw a portrait, and if I'm physically unable to because you guys don't subscribe, I'll be upset.
And WWE is coming up soon, so like quadruple.
We gotta hit is that 75?
150.
Oh, that's 150.
Let's
75
switch that around.
Oh yeah, the podcast on the roof would be fun though.
That would be fun.
In the rain. Anyways. So, alright, subscribe guys, and share with your friends. One friend does wonders. We got 100 unique listeners the other day, so that was cool. Alright, appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Follow us also on Instagram and TikTok.
We have a good video on Instagram.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. Blank explained to you on both those, so follow us there. Alright, thanks guys.